So, just as as a starter, I guess just introduce yourself and just.
Okay, so my name is Lev Schieber, and I go by the name Leviticus for my art. Been using Leviticus for about 20 years.
So when did you start painting?
I started painting when I was about 21. I started painting a lot, and I was in college at the time. I was at University of Nebraska, and I was there on a gymnastics scholarship, and I got injured. And after the injury, I started painting, and it worked out great. I really loved it, and I've been painting ever since that injury.
Would you have any advice for yourself when you first started painting, compared to where you are now?
Well, I had great professors, and their advice was great. I didn't have a direction. I was just painting, and sometimes it was personal. I was coming up with interesting little ideas that I thought were interesting, and the professors were just like paint a painting, and whatever you're trying to express will come out in the painting, in the shapes and lines and colors. And I always try to remember what my professor said. I just was very lucky that I had really good professors. And I used to read a lot of art books and stuff. I mean, I've read all the art books: Pollock, Picasso, Van Gogh, Modigliani, Chagall. Any famous artist, I read their biographies. And that actually got me in super deep trouble because I tried to emulate what they were doing, and it just kept killing me. I kept on trying to do what they did in the modern world because all these books are about what they did in the early 1900s, late 1800s, 1700s. And it doesn't apply to the modern world. So I had to create my own path and ignore the biographies, ignore what all the other artists did, or else I was going to continue to make mistakes, and I made a lot of mistakes that could have ruined my life. So my advice for anybody making art is do what you have to do to make it in the modern world, and figure out what that path is. Because if you try to do what other people do, it's going to kill you. If you're the type of person that would become an artist and you do it every day, you're not looking at the world like most people. Like most people, they're in their 20s, go to college, they're immediately trying to make money. They're immediately trying to, whatever it takes to make it in this world, whatever the job market is, they'll go right to it if you're normal. If you're not normal, you'll just fall by the wayside. So if you're an artist, a real artist, you're not going to immediately go where the job market is. You're not going to immediately try to get a mortgage. You're not going to immediately try to make as much money as possible, more than your friends. You're going to do a lot of experimentation. You're going to be broke. You're going to not think about money. You're going to get left behind. You're going to get into a lot of psychological problems because you're not where your friends are. So it's a big deal. There's a lot of complications to it.
I mean, so clearly you're also a family man. Do you think that helps you with the process of your paintings, or do you think helps you become a better painter? Or
Absolutely. I wish I would have become a family man way earlier. I came to the table pretty late as far as that goes. Husband and father, you have to make money, you have to be good to your wife and kids, and I started making more money when I got married and had kids, and I started seriously making money painting when I had my kids, because the alternative is like not for me.
with this current path that you've taken on, would you do it all over again? Would you change anything about it?
That's a good question. It was really difficult for me to figure out that the way for me to make money was with portraits. It took me a long time, like years and years. I was very stubborn. Again, I read too many books, so I was like, well, you're an artist. You have to go. You have to get your work in a gallery. You have to, whatever you make, you got to just like sell because you have to be like, you have to like pretend like you're a genius, and people are only going to buy what you make, and you're not going to paint what people want. And it took me years to figure out that your path is to sell portraits. And your path is to make your studio art, which is stuff that I make for myself, and it's social issues, and it's my view on history and how history affects the modern world. Like all of these subjects that I'm interested in, that they're not like immediately marketable. I mean, I was homeless for a long time. I would say I was homeless for 8 years because I was just like trying to sell my work because it was just like so awesome and everybody like should have my work. Meanwhile, nobody wanted my work because it's not decorative art. People don't, they're not just gonna hang up a picture of a dead body because like, oh, that's like, that dead body is fantastic. I gotta have it hanging over my couch. My family will love it. So I regret being stubborn like that. Like, so it took me a while to figure out what my path was, and that this is how you make money. This is how you can make money too, but it's a whole different way of making money. There's a lot of factors involved with selling art that's not decorative. You have to be considered. Your ideas have to be considered important enough for them to hang up a dead body on the wall, like, or else it's crazy.
I guess my last question is, what do you think is the role of an artist in society, or just the role of yourself in society as an artist?
The role of an artist in society, the artist, not the decorative interior design. Social commentary, you have to have art that makes people think about life, history. I'm very sure that art is about making people think about their place in life and how the world is beautiful and how the world is ugly, and to bring the humanity out. It's weird. It's not like cartoon in the New York Times about like, oh, the war in Iraq, and then it's like, it's not a political cartoon either, but it's something that's very ambiguous. It's to make people look at themselves through an image that you're putting on a canvas. It's very strange. It's a little bit abstract, but you have to have some social relevance. It's hard to explain.